Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 20th episode of Conceptualism. I'm very happy to have with me here today Raymond Chow, who is a internationally recognized Canadian artist, a painter, an author, a composer of musical works, a pianist, and a collector of rare automobiles. Um, I was very privileged to meet Raymond in Nova Scotia and to have the chance to work with him and collaborate with him on some projects. And I'm very happy that you've joined us today, Raymond. So thanks for being here with us.
Thank you, Fred. I was very thrilled that you came all the way from big Toronto down to Little Pleasantville, which is like out in the country side, an hour and a half south of Nova Scotia. And also, I thought we'll show the people who are watching this program the magnificent piano you performed on.
Yes.
And there's only five in the world of Fraz. Five. I don't know where the other four are at all. But we're so privileged of getting this unique piano, which is the Heisman Piano produced in China.
And it's covered in the most beautiful paintings and also covered in jade. Wow, yeah, that's so beautiful. Brings back memories. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yes. Oh, yeah, we can see it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's just beautiful. Um, and yeah, it's breathtaking.
Remember the story from which was put onto this piano in jade?
Yes.
And also what was the name of the story?
The red chamber, I think.
Dream of the Red Chamber. There is right there for us.
Yeah.
You can see the red pillars where these women, 12 of them, were waiting for the right Romeo to come along. At one time in ancient China, you had to come up with 8 horses to marry any available women at that time of prestige. I don't know, maybe it's only 1 donkey now.
Yeah, well, that was the dowry, right? That was the payment that needed to be made.
Exactly.
And you don't have to show people this, but I want to say that underneath the piano, Raymond has made drawings of cats, which are frolicking around on the underside of the piano.
No, we can see it. It's too dark.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it is quite dark. We're not. Yeah. Okay. But it's quite funny that you chose to customize the piano in this way, Raymond. It's quite amusing. It's almost like a little inside joke, because nobody would think to look under the piano and find cats frolicking around, but they're there.
This is not a new idea for Fraz, the famous musician. I think it was Schubert, when he's writing his music, when he had a blank page. I wish I had it right now. I'll show it to you next time. Cats frolicking, playing cello and running up and down the keys of the 10 lines, which is really beautiful. So that gave me an idea. Why don't I do the underside of this unique piano?
Well, I think that's really beautiful and really quite funny as well. Like it's a bit of a joke as well, because I mean, unless you told someone go look under the piano, they wouldn't really think to do that, because that's not normally a place it's not normally a place that people are looking at for artwork, or that it's not normally a thing that's decorated. It's not an obvious thing to do.
Frederick Chopin. Anyways, I think George Sand, wasn't it? His girlfriend, wasn't it? Or Madame Duvant, used to lie under his piano as he was doing his music.
Yes.
So that's the most unusual place, providing it's not an earthquake that the piano is going to squash you as it collapses. My God, that would be terrible.
Yes. Well, Martha Argerich, the Argentinian pianist, her daughters used to lie under the piano and listen to her practice, or fall asleep under the piano listening to
Really?
her practice. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Interesting. Interesting. What kind of a piano was it, Fraz?
um, I asked her what kind of piano she had, and she told me it was a Steinway. So I think she has a Steinway in the home, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
Um,
I wonder, did I tell you the story, history of the Chinese Heisman piano? What you see there, Heisman there?
yes, yes.
Do you know the story of that?
I don't actually. Well, you know what? I think I do. I know that there was problems with the factory, that they had to like, because wasn't Heinzman produced in Canada, and then they outsourced the labor to China, and so then there was this whole influx of pianos, and then there was like all kinds of, there was a rivalry or something within the company which caused it to split.
Well, I don't know if it's split or not, but the old story is that way back in World War II, the Americans wanted any of the three or four piano manufacturers who produced the soundboard, which was laminated and very good at lamination. So they went to Heisman, Steinway, Busendorfer, and I don't know how many other piano companies. So Heisman turned them down because they didn't want the eventual bombers to bomb their cousins or uncles or grandfathers. But Steinway agreed to produce a spy plane which spied over Germany itself. And also, Steinway got the commission to build all the G.I. Joe pianos in all the American sites through
Wow.
Europe. And that brought them a lot of cash, and they accelerated. And Heisman, though, pulled back, and meanwhile, the Japanese produced Yamaha, which is a wonderful piano, very brilliant. And Heisman just couldn't keep up with them, low or high. So they were almost on the verge of collapse in Ontario, Toronto. I remember going to their piano house, and the Chinese saw that this was a very unique and brave family who had emigrated here and did not want to bomb the Christ out of their relatives by doing whatever they did. So
Yeah.
the Chinese, seeing that these people were very devoted and a wonderful piano, they had actually developed a special bridge in the piano, which kept the piano more in tune. And it's, I can't remember the name of it, but it is a special bridge that all the other piano manufacturers has copied, which gave them some extra revenue. But they couldn't keep up with the cheaper Yamaha pianos or the expensive Steinway. So they're just about the verge of collapse. China came and said, we want to buy your factory, name of your company. I want all your tools. And they shipped them all the way to Beijing. Now the Chinese in Beijing produce a Heisman piano exclusively, uprights and grand pianos. So that's the history of the Chinese Heisman piano.
Mm, mm. And so was this jade piano manufactured in China, or was it uh, yeah.
Yes. The Argenta piano was produced in China, and it took them 5 months to apply all these figures along the side of it, which took quite a bit of time. It took 5 men, and I think it took them 5 weeks to get all the applications of these figures from the Dream of the Red Chamber onto the side of it. And it's incredible that shipping across from Vancouver, that we only lost 3 small pieces. The man at this corner here was a hero who had the choice of 12 women from the Red Chamber, but he wanted his poor cousin. Let's see if I can find her. Her name is Linda Yu. Here she is. I don't know if you can see it in the machine.
Yes,
Do
yes,
you have enough light?
yeah, yeah.
Here is
I can
Linda.
see it. Yes.
Here's Linda Yu. She's carrying her basket, and down below are these little flowers. And the most unusual thing, I don't know if I told you, Fraz, she used to collect the blossoms of the flowers which fell on the ground of her garden. With a little trowel, she dug and made the little graves and then gave them names. That was weird. Anyways, this caught his imagination, and it's most unfortunate she didn't take care of her health, and she passed away from pneumonia in her garden, which is terrible. But the writer himself has the same name as we are, C-H-O, and our name is not C-H-O-W, and it's a unique character, Chinese character. It's got a horizontal line on top, then it's got a box. In the box, it's got a horizontal line and two verticals like this here. Then below that, and below, yeah, and below there, we have another sign which makes our name Cho. And this man who, the story of the Dream of the Red Chamber we have his name, as well as Mr. Cho, who had a difficulty understanding or wanting to pull the three kingdoms that were killing each other, north, south, and east, were at war with each other, eliminating each other, unfortunately. So he wanted to stop that. So he tried 2 battles and he failed. So he decided to relax and play a game of chess with his Buddhist friend, a Chinese chess game chess set. The Chinese chess is very different. It's got a river. Let me see if I can get, here's the board. Can you see the board?
Yes, yes.
The board has got a river in the middle, and the men move into intersections. And we have now the men, but the men, those early days, they were Chinese symbols like this. Oh, where is it? Symbols like this, one of the men. And if you didn't understand the Chinese, it's hard to play, right?
Right.
But it's so different than having a river between the 2 opposing factions. And I don't know if you can see on the screen, there's a square with lines going from one edge to another.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's where the king resides, and he cannot move outside of the precinct of that castle. That's very different from Western chess, where the man, he can run all over the 64 squares, right?
Right. And we're seeing all these beautiful paintings and you know, and all these works of in the background. I mean, it's just incredible. You know, I would say like all these I mean, all these works are original works. These are all your own paintings. So
that's right. This one here, I don't know if you can see it on the screen.
Yes.
It's girl worked for us called Jessica.
Yeah.
And Jessica is holding a little flower. She lived down this area here called Falls Creek.
Right.
And she was on her way to visit her father in London, England. I did several paintings of Jessica here or there. And we also produced a puzzle, which we'll have eventually online, of Vancouver. Jessica, when she arrived in Vancouver, she sat in the dark with her father. And when she got home, who she thought was her father, she saw beside the fireplace a little book. And in that book, she kept flashing through. And then she looked at herself in a mirror, looked at her supposedly father. And then just at one chord, she said to her father 3 words, "You're not my father." And her father supposedly was really her uncle who helped maintain her and her mother. Her father passed away early during the 2nd month of her birth.
Did you tell Fraz that we went to look for your friends in London last year and this year?
Which friends?
Your friends in London.
Oh, yes. Well, we were I just finished doing a commercial for the BC natural gas ads of Fres. It was a series of 12 drawings of how natural gas can improve your living rather than just a wood stove. And when I finished that series of drawings, we had some money to go off to Europe. So at that time, my daughter being age of 3, let's see here. Here's Lisa Chow.
Yeah.
When she had matured, but when she was age 3, we took her to London, and she was small like this one here, like on the swing.
Right.
And she was looking at the binoculars. We lived in a townhouse at that time. And so we went to London, and we are going to stay there for a month. Then I said to the mother of Lisa, maybe we should stay longer. So we got rid of the rental car. We went to a location, a four-door Jaguar, Wimbledon actually, where they play tennis. Then we got rid of the hotel. We rented half a house near W11 in wonderful Holland Park. To me, one of the finest, greatest parks in the world of France.
We'd like to see it this
Have
year.
you been to London I'm sure you've been to London, but have you been to Holland Park?
I haven't. I don't think I have.
Okay.
I don't think I have.
Like, I think Windsor Castle, I think is W1, and this is, I think, W11, I think, somewhere in the vicinity.
Yeah,
so it's a bit farther outside the periphery of London. And we rented a house there, and I did a series of drawings, and we went back there, Kate and I.
No, it's only it's not W11, it was in W2.
No.
Or W2, W3.
No, it isn't.
Sure.
Windsor Castle.
No, I'm
And
talking about Holland Park now. I don't know.
no, it's the W11. I know where we were there for 10 months, Kate.
Oh, I've never been to Windsor Castle.
Yeah, right. So anyways, as the numbers increase, which is very clever, you can tell if you're how close or far away from the center of London. A great concept.
Yeah.
Dreamt up by the British, right?
Yes. Well, and it's kind of interesting too, because I mean, like in New York, everything is arranged by numbers and by blocks. So like you can, it's like a grid. You can sort of find your way around the city. Yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting because all the different places that you visit have a different logic when it comes to naming the streets and the systems of naming and the systems of numerical value and things.
We spent 10 months there. Here's an image of us being in London, and this is in the Trafalgar Square area.
Right.
And there's, I think that's Nelson, and then there's a woman in the foreground here photographing that area.
Yeah.
And a marvelous area for people to reconnoiter and enjoy the great history of which London does definitely have.
Well, when I was very young, I think maybe 7 or 8, I wanted to go into the fountain at Trafalgar Square. So, I took off all my clothes and jumped in the fountain.
It must have been cold.
It was, I think it was the middle of summer. So it was actually, it was actually fairly warm, maybe like 15 or 20 degrees. So it wasn't, it wasn't bad actually.
So while we were in London, Fraz, I did 80 drawings of London, which I produced 3 coloring books, book 1, book 2, book 3 of London locations. And we're going to have that online also available once we get our
wow
Facile site put together. You see London Bridge here with girls there. This is a breakfast that Kate made for me with my camera, and we're going headed towards downtown and W1, W2 area, and
We'll have to be more than Facile. We'll have to have the whole Facile too.
yeah, we're going to convert a unique building in Halifax, which is called Halifax Club on Time, which was reserved for the old men's club. And where did I put it now, Katie?
What are you looking for? Your,
Oh, here it is. Over here we have Harrods,
oh,
the most famous Harrods.
I got there.
And this is a young woman walking on the streets of Harrods. W1, yes. It was a store at one time boasted they would get anything for you that you wanted, even a live crocodile. This was later. This was later. That gives you quite a bite, eh? So
Yeah.
meanwhile, this building was purchased by Lady Diana's boyfriend, the one who unfortunately died in the Dodi, in the tunnel. Now it has switched hands again. I don't know who owns. Oh, that's right. You can now get kimchi at the at Harrods. And it's.
See any Tanzanian restaurants, but they couldn't.
Oh, I see. So, Fraz, when you were in London, do you remember going to Harrods with your mom?
No, I don't think. Well, my mom probably did go, but I don't remember. I don't remember going with her. I'll tell you, I do remember going to the M&M store in London.
M&M. And what did you buy in the M&M store?
I bought far too much candy. I probably bought 5 or 6 pounds of candy. And I probably ate all of it the same day. So like you can imagine, I was on a bit of a sugar high, and I wouldn't sit still, and I was hyperactive like it's nobody's business. But
Were you on one of those? Were you on one of those double-decker buses with the open top or with a closed top?
I've been on both. I've been in the open top version. I've also been in the closed top version. And my favorite place to sit on a double decker bus was right at the front. With that big window. I used to love sitting right at the front. And whenever we got onto a double decker bus, my mom would know that I would just climb up the stairs and go sit there. And so that was my spot. And if somebody was sitting there, when I was younger, I would ask them to move. And most of the time, if they would say, okay, fine, because I was a kid. What are they going to say? No?
How old were you at that time, Mafraz?
Oh, maybe 10 or
How old
11.
were you?
Maybe 10 or 11.
10 or 11.
Yeah, quite young.
Okay.
Yeah, and also
Okay.
we went to see the London dungeons. We went to see the dungeons, and we went to see
Oh.
Madame Tussauds. We went to the History Museum. We went to the
Oh.
Science Museum. Yeah, we used to do all kinds of stuff. It was incredible. And I've also been to a few of the cathedrals as well, and listened to some of the organs played at some of the big cathedrals, like St. Paul's and and Westminster Abbey, and
Yeah.
so that's been quite an experience as well to go listen to music, all the different places in London.
So going to those locations, the Fraz, that give you inspiration to play the organ, of which you do play now.
Yes, well, the first time that I actually played an organ was when I was in India, at the school chapel. I was at a boarding school, and they had an organ in the chapel, and that was the first time that I played an organ. But I'd heard organs before. I studied harmonium growing up, so that's a reed organ sort of. So but yeah, I would definitely say listening to the organ, in these spaces, was very, very inspiring for me. And I would say that the sound of the instrument definitely moved me. But I didn't know what the console would look like, because I'd never seen that up close and personal. So I only discovered that when I was in India, because I had the chance to actually go near the console.
Does it have a one? Did it have a one keyboard or two keyboard or three keyboards?
So the first organ at that school.
Hello?
Hi, I'm here. The keyboard had one organ, and one keyboard, and a pedal board. And then we upgraded, and we got an organ with two keyboards and a pedal board. And so that was quite the adventure, because I got to dismantle the old organ and put together the new organ. I got to help with that process, so that was quite incredible.
Amazing. Franz, can you tell me something about this Indian instrument that you have in front of you? Can you see it?
I can, yes.
It's got a fish going up there. It's got a bow. And I've attached this girl, this Chinese girl. She's got moving eyes. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can.
What kind of instrument is this? It's got multi-strings to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks.
Have you seen something like this?
Yeah, I have. I have seen something like this. Yeah, no, I know what I know the kind of instrument that it is. You know, it's but I'm guessing the one that you have is not meant to be played as an instrument. It's more of a something that you would display, which is what you're doing. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think this is an instrument that you would play. Like because the ones that are meant to be played generally like they look a little bit different. They look they have a different look to them, you know.
Okay.
It's
Wow.
like it's like, you know, when you get like those instruments that are meant to be shown as art pieces rather than meant to be played. So you know
Okay.
there's some guitars which you know which have like these beautiful inlays, and you know they look stunning. I mean, they can be played as instruments, but that's not really what they're made for. They're more made to be displayed, you know. um
Franz, when you were here last time, did you play on my John Broadwood's 1880 parallel strung piano?
yes, I did, actually. I did. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Remember I told you the story that it was lying on its side, and I said to my friend who was the purveyor of antiques, and I said, gee, what's that? He says, oh, it's a grand piano, English piano, and it's in my way. I said, oh, in your way. So I said, what do you want for this piano? And as you know, this piano was Beethoven's, one of his most favorite instruments. He wrote for Elise, for his girlfriend, right? Elise. You know that story, don't you, Afraz?
I don't actually.
You don't? Well, for a while, this is before he went deaf. It wasn't because they were yelling that he went deaf. That the John Broadwood's piano in history, previous to the piano which they produced, the father-in-law, the father of the young woman he married, produced harpsichords. And he talked to the father. If you look at this instrument, it comes to a very sharp edge, then it curves inwards, whereas most grands today are of an even curve, but it's still somewhat reminiscent of a harpsichord because a sharp French edge and curving in. But we're so lucky that we got this for only $500.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But the bad thing, Afraz, the keys were perfect, and I cleaned them with, I shouldn't have, with water, and it got in between the wood and the ivory, and my God, oh, broke my heart that all my ivories were cracked the next morning. That was stupid.
That
Never have done that. Anyways.
maybe not the smartest thing to have done.
No, no. Could you see the doll in the corner here
Yes.
on the red settee?
Yes, yes.
You know the story of that one?
No, I don't. Tell me.
It's interesting. See, she can say, oh, I got a terrible headache today. Or she can say, oh, I'm going to scratch my nose. There's another controller on her other arm says, where are you? Where are you, Afraz? Where are you? And she can scratch inside. And this was a sort of like a marionette, but I put this into a story called Love Within the Dime of a mermaid, Chinese girl becoming a mermaid. And way in the distance there, I don't know if you can see it, is what we call the blue nose. And guess where the blue nose is?
In Lunenburg.
It's on your common dime, right? The 10 cent, which they commemorate into a plastic piece, which is still in circulation. So I wrote a story of our version of a dancer what happens to her when she emigrates to our unique house here in Pleasantville. I can't take you outside because it's dark now. And then she has a romance which goes wrong with a sailor aboard the Blue Nose.
Huh.
So we want to take this story. We want to take this story and see if we can do this as a fundraiser to help out the Blue Nose Maritime Society.
Well, that sounds.
Yeah, I lost you.
No, I'm here.
See, I
I'm
can't see you on.
I'm
Oh, there
here.
you are. There you
I'm
are.
here. Yeah. No, I was just
So,
I paused my video recording there for a second.
so you know the system here I showed you, substitution
Yes.
of letters
Yeah.
to musical notes. So MER, Marmissa. Marmissa. So that's the theme of our story called Love Within a Dime.
Well, that's quite a beautiful melody, Raymond. That sounds quite.
Well, amazingly, it worked out quite well. And also this morning, I worked out Pleasantville,
Right.
Pleasantville. So
Right.
the melody goes. So it goes, how's it go now? Whatever it is you want. So that's how I write music, by taking phrases and turning them into music.
I like
Do you
that.
know the Chinese system of, right? Do you know the Chinese system of music, Afraz?
I don't. No, I don't. I mean,
Well,
I
the
know.
Chinese do not use this system. They don't use the 5 lines above. They don't use the 5 lines below. Just use number. So do is re, 1, do re, mi is 3, fa, so, la, ti, do. Simple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But they use the black notes. Only 5.
Right. It's the pentatonic
One.
scale. Yeah.
1 note pentatonic scale. This is my special glove, to we call the gliss. So I put this on to protect my hand so I can do a gliss like this. The gliss glove. It's got our signature with that, our Chow with our name here on the palm of it. So this is one way you can do the Chinese gliss. Get a glove, cut up the fingers, and you can save your fingers as you run your notes, your fingers, your palm
Right.
across the black notes.
So, Raymond, what is this outfit that you're wearing? You're wearing a really
Oh, yes.
quite a beautiful jacket. What is this?
Yeah, it is a Chinese jacket for going out to a formal occasion. It's got the dragon on it, which is a symbolic used quite often in a lot of their imageries and paintings.
Yeah.
I think the dragon symbolizes the head, the emperor.
Right.
I'm far from being an emperor, but anyways, is a design. It's got these Chinese frogs, no buttons.
Right.
The design system doing a knot and then tie before buttons were invented.
Yeah.
and kept on going. As you know, which is interesting of medieval China, they developed paper, silk, the abacus, the Chinese paintbrush, and they did a lot of creation, gunpowder, and I think the world definitely must congratulate the early Chinese for coming out on paper, print,
Yes.
and a lot of things have come from China. And I don't know if they're still doing any of that. But when you have a mass of a lot of people, I think you're easier to come up with inventions than one person that's sitting in a closet.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And I mean art and ideas for sure, they come from a scene, they come from a place. There's a, like the idea of, instead of the word genius, the plural of that is genius. So suddenly, if you've got a bunch of people that are doing things together, that are collaborating, that are inventing together, then a lot more interesting things happen because of the places that they're surrounded by. Because we don't live in an ahistoric vacuum. I mean, everything is influenced by other things and by other ideas and by other work. So I mean, for example, you know, you I mean, you're considered the North American Picasso, and I think that's because I think you were telling me that that you and Picasso had a very similar approach. Like you were doing a bunch of self portraits, like you had similar phases in your artistic career. So
Yes, I want to show you the brochure. Okay,
I don't
do you know where it is?
all-
It's my upstairs.
All I know is it's not just Raymond comparing him to Picasso, but some really influential art dealers.
Can we move you
compare
upstairs
him
here, dear?
to Picasso.
I did a brochure which is very definitive of our comparisons and a phrase. We can turn the light on up here, Katie, baby. And I produced a brochure which we'll have available to people who tune in to you or us or thing. Let me see if I can, it's over here. I know where it is.
Oh, there it
Precisely,
is,
yep, the
Mom.
corner.
Yeah,
And
I see it now.
here we are.
I see it.
There, can you see that?
yes, yeah, we can.
See me on the left,
Yeah.
my self-portrait, and on the right, Picasso's self-portrait, and then on the right, comparisons of him and me. I never saw his show, Franz, and I noticed after coming from the show how similar we were in subjects. Like he has here on my left, there's a artist painting a artist model, and he's done on the right. He did one. He did buildings. I did buildings. Here he did a painting of his wife with a fan. I did Kate with a fan. And over here, he did a woman sitting, looking to the right. I did a woman under the tree, facing right. Here he did a series of people near a lighthouse. I did a lighthouse. The whole series keeps on going. I was flabbergasted in that we had so much similar concepts. Here, he did a woman and a child. I did my model with her baby. I did the woman looking towards the right. I did a satire on my ex-wife being a weather vane. Turning ahead to whatever handsome men there happened to be around.
I'm
Here
having
he-
a hard time. I'm having a hard time seeing the brochure. It's
Oh.
not in the field of vision. So if you could bring it up. Okay. So yeah, I now we're seeing it. Yeah.
Now you see the figure he did. The naked figure, her top of her head was off the edge as mine, and he cut it down precisely down this level here, which I had never seen that painting before. First, I was shocked how we had similar synapses in concept, but our different styles and our birthdays are only something like 4.5 weeks from each other, actually, even so we are similar in character.
And
Keep
so
on going.
you paint. I mean, you paint nude models of like you've done women, men. You've I mean you've done all kinds of painting.
Figures, yeah.
Yes.
I'm a figurative artist. Oh, I lost you.
Well, no, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh,
So So I know you're a figurative artist, and I know you've done a lot of work that sort of that's very defined. But I know in your later years you started experimenting quite a lot with abstract things. Like
Yeah,
I remember you were I was at your place where you were rolling a tire over a canvas to create an abstract print.
that's right. Over here, um, do I have it here? It's the other. I used the tire and where is it? It's in
What you looking for?
the tire painting was there.
Oh, fire painting. See, oh, unless
Do we
there's
have
one
one
in the
here?
basement, but the rest are in the shipping.
Yeah, most of them are in shed.
So I
Yes,
just-
well, I did put
I
the.
don't think Cross saw what we did with the shipping.
And you
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Oh,
Here it is. Here it
bring
is.
one?
Here it
Oh,
is.
okay. The Cross didn't see how we reinvented the shipping.
Here it is. I can't see you on screen there if I see a whole bunch of mountains.
I'm here. I'm here.
See, there it is.
Yeah. Wow.
There's
So
girl.
so you use this to create the foam on the waves or
Yeah.
that's
This is a Michelin tire. We're in the Michelin house. Over here, you can see the treads are like down here, wiggly part. And I just painted this whole canvas blue. Then I painted the tire under white paint. And I rolled it twice. Create waves fast within less than a minute.
yeah. No, that's a really interesting technique, and it looks beautiful. I mean,
It gives an idea of waves, doesn't it? You know,
it does.
it has a texture part to the thing. And so we call it tread art.
Yeah, that's
Not-
very cool.
Not
So in
Right,
that
Art.
in that sense, you're this is all conceptual art, you know. Like, and I mean, you've done experimental films. You've shot like experimental films on your video camera.
Yeah.
You've taken photographs with black and white film. You've done all kinds of stuff.
Well, I spent an entire year following the work of Norman McLaren, who eventually emigrated to Victoria, British Columbia from Ontario. So I watched his experimental films, how he did what we call shocks, speeded up stills. And so I did a girl who, as she jumped up in the air, her clothes changed before she came down to the ground. And also I did a funny film of my friend's, a woman called Vesla Hutz coming down the railroad track as a train.
Is that the one that showed at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre?
Yes, we rented out the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. We showed our 3 hours of experimental film I did in 3 years. And it was expensive those days. It cost me $75 a minute to get first the film, to make a copy of it and put the sound on it. But I did it in 3 hours. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. That's remarkable. And I'm sure. I mean, you still have these films. You still have them like in your archive.
Yes, we still have them stored away in a cool area. The old film could be dangerous because they are
And
house.
we got the roof repaired over top of them.
Yeah. And anyways, the film are quite volatile apparently as they grow older.
Yeah. Well, you should definitely digitize these things, Raymond. I think you need to digitize these things.
Well,
Yes.
Gordon Allery.
We had one roll already
Gordon would do
digitized
that for
by
you.
Gordon Allery in Vancouver, but I like to get the other 2 rolls and have people, they can enjoy the humor of the films we did as experimental. I can't see you on screen here, Fraz.
I'm here. The camera's on. Everything's on. You should be able to see me.
I can see a map.
A map.
Yeah, it's what is the map? It says, what's this, Kate? What's that
What's it say?
map of? Where is it?
We can see a map of Vancouver. No, that's
Here,
Halifax.
Halifax, Spring Garden Road.
That's a map of Halifax.
Yeah, Halifax. How did I get on there?
I don't know. Did you?
you probably opened a browser or something. But I mean, because
How do
my
we get back to
I
Fraz?
don't know. Just one moment, please. Please bear with
Oh,
us.
there he is. There he is.
We may be having technical
There, we're back on.
difficulties.
There's the map of Fraz there.
well, I mean, you've played piano, and in fact, you studied piano at the Royal Conservatory.
Yeah, I went through the Royal Conservatory system of. After that, after 10 years of that, I decided to me that was enough. So what I would do is I would start a piece of music like Furley's. So I start the classic and then I bridge into the contemporary system. Fred, you've heard when you were here, did I tell you the 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 sequence?
Yes, yeah. No,
Because-
that's definitely. I mean, obviously, like I've been studying jazz for quite a while, so these extensions and I'm very interested in revoicing and reworking harmonies, to include some very distant and sometimes very dissonant language. Like a lot of the organ work that I've done, I play some very far out chord progressions that
So-
that sort of sound like jazz mixed with like with the avant-garde classical tradition. So it has some swing, it has some movement, but at the same time it's also very harmonically dense.
Can you play
So
me?
I need to interject here, Afraz, because we talked with our friend, our new friend, Paloma. She was looking for somebody to do music for her film. I think Raymond and I had spoke to you about her, and I was speaking with her again today and said that we were going to do this talk with you today,
Yes.
but she wasn't able to come over today. But anyway, so yeah, Raymond and I were thinking that perhaps you and Paloma could work together. We don't know.
We'll put you in touch with her. Fraz, her head's underwater now. She's swimming.
Oh, she had her dad is I guess we told you that he won world championships over and over again for sandcastle building, and he's also an Olympian swimmer. So for Canada, he did some tremendous swimming accomplishments. So he and Paloma had to get their swim in today and then get back to Blue Rocks. So yeah, anyway, we expect, Raymond and I think it would be interesting if you and she could get together.
We'll have to have her over here, her father, and the last name is very unusual, Dawkins, Kins of Daw, whoever Daw is.
Oh, Dawkins. No, Dawkins. It's,
Yeah.
It's.
Dawkins.
Yeah.
So they're Kins of Daw.
Yeah, well, that's, well, kins of dogs, I guess.
Daw. Anyways, I definitely want them to meet you and have a converse is what we're doing now. So we'll see what they're doing next week, if possible. I also talked to
She's going to call tomorrow because, yeah, she's really busy. She's got a lot of movie projects going, but she wants to keep us in the loop.
She's very creative. She's won a Canada Council Award. She's won a film award as well for something else. And so she's now creating some other film sequence. They're short creative films. She draws her own animations. Very talented person, born on July the 5th, next to Cancerian.
Yeah, so we were going to have her stay with us, but my health wasn't good enough because she had Raymond and I decided my health wasn't good enough to have a guest in when she needed to come in from Montreal. So anyway, she and her dad found a nice house in Blue Rock, so that's good.
Have you ever heard of Blue Rocks?
I have. In fact, I went there. I went to Blue Rocks with the gentleman called Lothar Holtzel.
Okay.
And he took me there on a little adventure, and it was quite nice. We took some photos. It was actually a really pleasant trip down there. Yeah. Nova Scotia.
Of my many sketchbooks, and I'll see if we can do this as a regular feature, as I did sketches of Bridgewater, Halifax, Mahon Bay.
By the way, Raymond, did you have a chance to find that drawing that you made of my concert in Lunenburg? Because I remember you made this beautiful drawing of that the St. John's Anglican Church with that starry domed vault there, and also of me of.
Yes, I have it somewhere upstairs among my 200 sketchbooks.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're incredibly prolific. So, I mean, that's the other thing that I want people to understand is that, I mean, the amount of work that you've produced over your lifetime is just phenomenal. I mean, it's mind-boggling how much stuff there is. And I think the you were telling me about the wedding dress that you were using which you got a model to wear, and then you did like the white dress series, I believe it's called.
Yes, right here is the sample of one painting I did already of the dress of Joanne. And here's another Joanne, a Taurus, and also the white dress in Victoria.
She wrote us a letter this year.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
And up here,
not
for us,
the blonde Joanne met.
Is the white dress itself.
Yes, well, yeah, that's incredibly beautiful. Yeah, definitely.
Here it is. I like this one.
Yeah, that's quite wonderful. Yeah.
And over here,
Yeah.
didn't fit this woman. She was too full, so we left the button open.
That's how it fit me.
Here's another girl eating an apple.
Yeah.
Modern K, open that door, baby.
Uh-huh.
With the dress on.
Well, that's
And then over here, the white dress came off.
right. Yeah.
Over here, the girl is doing perfume. She's on the white dress with the butterfly above.
Yeah.
And this lady here, you asked me to research, Raymond asked me to research his models. And I found the last we know of her, she was studying at a Christian university in Germany, working towards a PhD in genetic science.
Yeah, Karen. Karen Vander, what was it?
I can't remember.
Here we have girl
At the piano.
at the piano.
That's beautiful.
Can you see that?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
At the piano.
Yeah, and then there's also that rug.
know.
There's that Persian rug underneath. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's incredibly detailed. Like, I mean, that looks almost like a photograph, Raymond.
Yeah. Also, getting back to Karen, when I was single, I did her, actually, I don't have that one, blowing bubblegum with no clothes on.
No, that's Kevin's saying.
It's Kevin's. I did her also in the bathtub. Can you see her in the bathtub?
Yeah. The water,
Water's right.
the water looks incredible. I mean, it looks so incredibly lifelike. How did you achieve that texture? I mean, or that the ripples. I mean, it looks lifelike.
Yeah.
How do you manage that with paint?
Well,
He
it
moves
comes
it
with
around.
time, right? Just like playing the piano. Here is Karen here, walking, lifting her left foot because it was getting wet down an area called Wreck Beach. You've heard of Wreck Beach, Afraz?
I haven't actually. No, I haven't.
It's a natural beach where all the people go natural.
It's right on part of it borders on the
ABC.
University of British Columbia.
Mhm.
So the professors and students go there.
So at first I did Karen blowing bubbles on a red couch with only a smile on her face. Then I did her in the bathtub here.
Yeah.
Then the next one, I got her onto my bed. But at that time, my son just came in. And you can see the white dress on the right there.
Yeah.
That did it. So that ended that relationship. Here's one over here of guess who?
Kate.
Yeah, Kate eating chocolates.
But how many women has he painted with the name Kate?
It's only one. Well,
At least two.
Yeah, Catherine.
At least two.
Over here, I've just primed 3 canvases, ready to start a conversational abstractionism. And over here, which is a very funny one, I don't know if you can see it, a little boy on peppermints,
Oh, that's really,
which are attached to the canvas.
that's wow.
We call him riding on the rocky road to sweet success.
And the butterfly, there's a butterfly there.
And the butterfly on top, which is beating him. And coming around here, this is giving a little view of the area called Mahone Bay. I don't know if were you ever in Mahone Bay?
Yeah, I did go to Mahone Bay actually. There was a really nice.
And there's the blue nose. Wait, there's the blue nose in the distance there.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
think you may have been up to the Butler residence with Roy and Barbara. They're up near Mahone Bay on Oakland.
Yeah. I actually.
So we're presently on.
I never went. No, I never went to one of those house concerts. I didn't.
You never did.
No, I never.
Oh, okay.
I never went to. I never went to one of those house concerts.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back. Oh,
The main reason that I didn't go is because like I was living in Lunenburg and that would require me to ask somebody to drive me every time. So that was a bit of a challenge.
so
'Cause I didn't have a car.
here's my many sketchbooks.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So where is Afraz in there doing his? You're in here
In one
somewhere.
of these
Afraz.
200 books, I'll find it hopefully by tonight. This is our extra room, which is this is a gigantic painting I did with a painting friend of mine. And we did a little girl running in the gardens of the Women's University Club in Vancouver, where I used to play the piano.
And she wanted to erase the little girl, and I thought that was very sad.
Yeah, Monique didn't like the little girl. She had a little boy.
and then
And here's again Karen in the white dress.
yeah.
Then when we were at a beach, I did a series of
Oh,
women
That's the beach we found this summer.
Isn't this
women in bikini.
Raymond, the painting that's right next to it, is that the one that you gave me as a giclée print? The one of Lisa? Is
don't
that the
know.
same one? I think it looks like, well, no, maybe not. Because the one that the giclée that you gave me after my concert, it was of Lunenburg. I think she was sitting. I'll show.
Oh, that's similar. It's similar, but a little bit different for us.
And here's something totally different at Fry's. I went to a Dollarama and I picked up these square wooden blocks, and someone gave me 2 parts of a guitar, which are broken. So I put them separate and I laid water on acrylic strip color across. Then I attached the wooden blocks to the paint, which I did a series of paintings as such of the same theme of wooden blocks onto a surface.
So that's quite conceptual.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, very, very conceptual.
Yeah. So this is, I can do this kind of work.
And the straw,
I can do that.
I drip paint across the straw.
But then I'd have to buy a new property to store it. So
This was a
we
two-part
can't do
one.
that.
So straws are become parts, we call this add-on art, ADDON.
Right.
Here's the other one. So, you know, I'm constantly experimenting all day. Oh, this one's got a, what's that animal? Seahorse.
Oh, a little
The seahorse is
yeah.
attached to the canvas.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Yeah.
On the other side, here's the other seahorse. The color and the squares around.
Yeah, it took us a while to find a seahorse.
Here's another one, spread on the other side, which I painted yellow.
Yeah.
So,
I think we may have found those in the Chinese medicine shop.
yeah, Chinese medicine shop in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Chinese called Vancouver Sui Fa, Saltwater City. Going downstairs. Pretty steep stairs, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll take you into the other room now, which you'll see some early paintings I did of Lisa. Get the light up here. There. Can you see the painting I did of Lisa in Stanley Park?
Yes.
And then there she is with daffodils. And here, this one I like a lot. She's on a swing, ready to kick out the two mountains.
I think June Caesar Hugh encouraged you to polka dot her. Yeah.
So up above is one of my friends whose daughter wasn't well. And we raised monies for her to send her to Europe to find a doctor to help her out. This is our dining room as such. Panorama.
Yeah, it's getting a little more cluttered.
Here's the sleepy cat. And then Karen, the question is she putting it on or is she taking it off?
So what's the answer? Was she taking it on or putting it off? Or yeah, what's the
Whatever
answer?
you want.
All right.
Here's whatever you wish. Here's the white dress again with her boyfriend.
Right.
And we also produce coasters. But also we produce puzzles of our paintings now as well. Here's our kitchen.
We did a few changes. Different lighting fixtures.
The large one above there, Fraz, is the girl original, and then below it is a G-clay sprayed to canvas. I changed the girl above into a mermaid, and this is a theme of our film called Love Within a Dime.
And I built an island with our neighbor.
We have our little island here. Over up here in the corner, we have a area I spent time in Normandy, France.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
French towns. And then the girl in the foreground is from Richmond, so I combine images from one area to another area freely. Over here, past Kate.
And then our neighbor, Raymond, found this out of the corner of his eye, and then we stepped on it, but our neighbor said we didn't step on it too bad, so that was this fixture fits the house better. We put some light fixtures.
Yeah, the house is 1880 for us, so it's here. This is something new for me. A mobile. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can.
Hanging on the new light fixture.
And look what's on top of here. A cute little pig. See a little pig, he's sitting on there.
Yeah.
He's happy, he can frolic around.
And
He can move with the mobile.
And you painted the guitar. The guitar is painted.
And a guitar, you can see is painted, yes.
Yeah.
And next to it is a Paul Kelly painting. He's one of the artists that's going to be exhibiting with us in the Halifax Club,
Yeah.
holding a violin.
And the Halifax Club, our association in Toronto, we've been invited to the Toronto Club, which we hear would be a lovely place to do a show.
Below, we have a little boy on his bike rolling over these sweet candies and peppermint, having a sweet ride on his bicycle.
Yes, that's very clever. And
Over
and definitely
here,
like
did you make it to Niagara Falls? Did you ever make it to Niagara Falls?
did I ever make it to Niagara Falls? Yes, I have.
So here's a little girl on the swing, swinging over Niagara Falls.
Can you move the camera down a little bit so we can see the rest of? Oh, there we go. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's.
And then I did a little boy on his bike. These are smaller wood panels and a girl running on the beach.
That's
All the way back up to over here in our hallway. I painted our, what's that part, Kate?
Oh, that's Woodlawn.
Woodlawn.
Yeah.
And I
Have
put
you-
the girl in there. She wasn't there.
That's up to just our delightful friend Wesley Ewan, who Raymond is really promoting, is just 10-minute walk from there. Yeah.
What was the low? So this is a drawing I did way back,
Yeah.
some 47 years ago. Oh my God, a long time ago. Well, we were 10 months in London. Here's a little dance school. One of my friends here has a dance school. And she has 3 of my little originals now. And over here, my uncle had 18 racehorses, and these were racing to the finish.
Can you move a little bit down because I can't see the horses. Okay, wow, yeah, that's beautiful.
The jockey's beating.
That wasn't in Toronto, though, was it?
This is at Vancouver.
Yeah.
My uncle laid the sod for the horses, and he told us that he saw these small batteries. At one time before they were discovered, the jockeys were shocking the horses to make them put their head up when they came to the finish line, and they outlawed that. They would zap the horses and they would run faster. That's not legal.
No,
Here's some more.
that's cruel. That's very cruel.
Yes, it is.
So Raymond, you've had your work collected by a lot of notable people, like Gordon Lightfoot, former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and
Yes.
and yeah, I mean the list is quite unbelievable. Princess Elizabeth of Yugoslavia, Clint Eastwood, Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
I mean, so your
That's
work
right.
your work is in a lot of collections. Like I mean, it's in a lot of corporate and private collections.
Here we are, Pablo Picasso of Nova Scotia. And here's my daughter standing in a doorway because we were lost.
Hmm.
And then I did a series of florals and waves from California. And I did a series of windows in a bookstore, which I go get free books. These are in the window there.
But they make you play the piano, don't they?
Every time I went there for us to play on the upright Heisman, I got 3 free books.
If you play the piano.
And because I played the piano, I thought I deserved 3 little books. I have a collection of books which I draw and illustrate on. Here's some of the books I have. We have now probably about a collection of 600 books, which I'm doing some sketching and drawing of them.
And we had to buy the bookcases and we're trying to keep
Oh, the
up.
most prestigious one is way over here. Have you ever heard of Stephen King?
Of course, of course.
Well, there is his house in Bangor. Kate and I were in Bangor.
Yeah, my coworkers in Vancouver were very afraid of his literature, but I mean, when he's an East Coast writer, and I mean, his wife and he would host tea at the library in Bangor, and I didn't think that was too bad. And the one book that he wrote where nobody got murdered is where I would start people off with The Eye of the Dragon. And if you don't like the genre, that's the one I would recommend, because it's, you know, nobody gets murdered.
And here's a sketch of his house, whoops, in the book. So my idea is combined with nonprofit organizations and selling these books with our sketches and as a fundraiser for that particular charity. So if you have any ideas, as we can work together on that one.
Certainly, yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Here is the garden in Victoria, the Bootcart Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
Many people have seen. The whole painting is built on circles. The circle of a hat, and the gate, flowers above. The model commissioned me to send her a couple of prints of her nieces. Do you know where this is?
No, tell me.
This is called Beaver Lake, and I was going to get the girl only in her beaver, and then we found maybe we shouldn't do that because there's an older couple watching us. So she later did swim topless in the Beaver Lake. We also produced a puzzle.
Yeah. Wow.
Now we have some of our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our paintings on puzzles. They'll be available online
And
this coming year.
Your art dealer in Vancouver finally approves of them.
This young woman here bought 3 by large G clays. Her name is Anna Bajak, and I had her in her beautiful satin gown with a fish she's holding with her right hand. Over here is one of the artists we promoted, a man called William Allister,
And he knew conceptual ideas.
who was a prisoner of war. He wrote a book called Where Life and Death Hold Hands, William Allister.
Yeah, he really knows conceptual ideas, because maybe a phrase.
Yes, Kate.
This William Allister, I don't know if you remember me or if I even told you, it was one of my favorite radio programs, and he did conceptual philosophy and art and life for the CBC radio for a really long time. And he was just amazing to listen to, absolutely the best.
We became his agent for a while. Also, I used to caddy. Here's a painting of a man putting 2 balls on a bed. And some golf balls. We also produce it as a puzzle. We have the original. So one of the things we're doing right now currently, Afraz, is taking our drawings and blowing them up larger as 18 by 24s. Let me see if I can find one over here. We used to take them, shrink them down to smaller prints, like this one here is. But now we're blowing them up larger than my originals, as these ones are.
Right.
Here is a blow up of my friend's wife, Alice, feeding some koi fish in a park here in Bridgewater. The koi fish are from London. And here we are talking about London. On the Thames.
That's the is that the London Eye?
Yes. And these people are not here. They were in another suburb of London. I just had them there as they were rowing their boats. They were in Wimbledon, I think. And here's something else, which is one of my mobiles of a young guy, a magician, wanting his pet to jump through the hoop. And a little white dog behind him. There's a mobile so that with a touch, the whole thing will revolve.
Behind you is that canvas with the violin attached to the canvas, and also there you've got a series of paintings with computer parts.
Yeah.
Which defunct computer parts, which I think is really cool.
We call that add-on art.
Yes.
Here's the vase. Behind it in the corner is the Chinese airwu attached to a canvas and computer part. Can you see that?
Yes. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
So additive art. And then the other one, which I like very much, I'll take to the other room, in our entrance. It's of a girl drinking tea. Has the computer above her. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
So there's a distance of about 45 years from that to where I used to do those early drawings when I was 20, 22, 25, using black pen. Now I use a particular pen, which is called Sharpie.
Right.
And also I've been using a rubber stamp.
Oh, okay.
To do drawings of stamping it onto my paper and doing further drawings of them. Here's the print done from one of my series called
I'm glad it's warmer here today.
A Clock in a Potted Plant. It says, "Would time grow for us?" Here's a woman 9 months on the clock expecting a little child, and the clock is not working for her. A little shell there, it's pretty quiet. So I did a series of women in clocks, women in clocks, around clocks, in clocks. So there isn't anything that we don't experiment with, even painting old phones like this one.
Huh.
And then this is a series again of the white dress, but the white dress came off, and we call this one Nectar. The same model above as below, and pressing the C note. Over there, you can see the sleepy cat sleeping on the edge of a fountain. And over here, this wonderful French singer with her cat. That was her family.
You haven't shown the frogs out here, darling.
I'm going to take you to another room. Let's see, is the light turned out bright?
Yes.
Here's
Yes, lighting.
there in with a saddle. Holding the one